Hello, my dear friends. Let me ask you something. Can a woman survive with nothing but half a toned saree and her intelligence? No palace, no jewels, no servants, no savings. Just a half saree and her wits. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Well, let's exactly what a princess once claimed in open court. And her father, the king, was not pleased. What happened next became one of the greatest comeback story you have ever heard. This is the story of a clever daughter. Long ago, in a modest village under a prosperous kingdom, there lived a poor boy. He was born into hardship, and before he was old enough to understand the meaning of security, he lost his parents. Along in the world, he worked as a daily labor, carrying bricks, plowing land, lifting stones, anything to earn for a handful of rice. Years passed, loneliness pushed him towards marriage. He approached another poor family. They agreed, and soon he had a wife. But marriage did not change his fate. Each day he brought home a little rice as wages. As his wife cleaned it, removed stones, plowed it, and cooked just enough one night meal. If he worked, they ate. If he didn't, they starved. There was no savings, no plannings, no progress. They lived inside a fragile hut. One strong wind away, everything collapsed. His father in law had given them two cloves as dowry. Those cloves grew into bullocks. But instead of becoming assets, they became burden. They needed care, they needed feed. His wife refused to tend them. My father gave them to you, she would say. You take care of them. And so life dragged on day by day unchanged. Then one night, disaster struck. A violent rainstorm tore through the village. The hut collapsed. Everything they owned washed away. The man sat in despair. Nothing left, nothing saved. The next morning, he took the bullocks and went to plough someone else's field. Bring me lunch at midday, he told his wife. She had nothing, not even a handful of rice. In desperation, she swept together rice husks, boiled them, and carried them to the field. By the time she arrived, he was starving. He looked at the food. This isn't rice, it's husks. What else could I do? She replied. You told me to cook for half measure. That was the breaking point. This is the end, he shouted. You are no longer my wife. He returned home furious. Later, he found her standing on a mortar stone. What you are doing? You said we can't stand to any longer, she answered calmly. So now I am standing. He lashed out in anger and drove her away. The woman went straight to the local Raja. We have had nothing since we were married, she cried. Now can I cook? How can I cook without rice? And he bet me for it. The Raja was furious. He summoned her husband. The man defended himself. I work every day and gave her everything, but she brings me husk. I can't live with someone so foolish. The Raja shook his head. If you don't earn enough, how can she cook? You should not beat her. Just then the voice interrupted. But it was Raja's daughter. Young, educated, intelligent, and perhaps slightly spoiled. Father, she told boldly, don't punish him. A wife must manage what she is given. Even with little, she should have saved something. The court fell silent. The Raja glared. What you know of poverty? She lifted her chin. Even with half a sari, a woman with intelligence can survive. But this woman could not manage even if she had 1,000 rupees. The words hung heavy in the air. The Raja pride burned. You dare challenge my judgment? His anger rose like thunder. If you believe this man is right, then prove it. You are no longer my daughter. Take the stone sari, marry him, live in poverty, and show me your wisdom. The court collapsed. But the princess did not tremble. All right, she said calmly, and just like that, she left the palace. She entered the laborer's broken hut. It was chaos. Rice husks on one corner, dirty grains in another, dust everywhere. She said nothing, just rolled up her sleeves. She cleaned the grains, she separated the husks, picked out stones, pounded a rice properly. Before long, she had 4 large bags of useful paddy. She woke up early morning at 4:30, made dug cakes for fuel, cooked carefully, saved a little each day. From every small earnings her husband brought home, she cooked some and saved some. Slowly, quietly, life began to change. Soon the neighbor noticed, how do that poor man improve so quickly? They grew jealous. One day a man killed a snake. A neighbor threw the dead snake on their roof, honoring for bad luck. But fate had other plans. At that very moment, in the palace, Raja's wife removed her diamond necklace before bathing. The eagle swooped down, mistaking the jewels for food, and carried them away. Soon realizing its mistake, the eagle spotted the snake on the hut's roof, dropped the jewel, and flew away with the snake. The jewel worth thousands of rupees, now laying on the roof hut. The princess spotted outside at dawn. Something glittered above. She climbed up. Diamonds, gold necklace, priceless gems. She recognized them, but she said nothing. She kept them safely at the palace. Chaos erupted. Jewels stolen. Search parties everywhere. The kingdom whispered of bad luck. Meanwhile, the princess sold the jewel wisely, invested carefully, worked tirelessly. Their hut became a house, then house became a mansion. Her husband prospered. Years passed. The Raja's fortune declined. Misfortune followed him. Eventually, he was reduced to begging. One day, he stopped outside a grand mansion. Food, please. The princess stepped out with a plate. She saw him, her father, but he did not recognize her. Come inside and eat, she said gently. After the meal, she asked about his life. He told her everything. Then she revealed her identity. Silence. The old king's eyes filled with tears. I see now, he whispered. I punished you in anger. You proved me wrong. You rose with nothing but a half sari and your intelligence. He bowed his head. You are truly a clever daughter. What a story! Let's pause and reflect. She did not complain. She did not curse fate. She did not rely on lucks. She used discipline, planning, intelligence. A half sari, no wealth, no support. And yet she built abundance. Because wealth is not only money, it's mindset. So, next time, strip you of comfort, ask yourself, what do I still have? If you have intelligence, you have everything. Until our next story, remember it's not about the hand you are dealt, it's about how you play it. See you in the next tale.